Welcome to another video. It's Coach KP, Kiefer, your favorite redhead. Welcome to another video. 3 mistakes you're making trying to get leaner. I've been through these mistakes and it's gonna really help you out. If you don't know who I am, real quick, I can be your new best ginger buddy. I've competed multiple times. I've gotten lean. I help guys feel good, max out their potential, look it in the mirror, feel confident, and feel like they're just living up to a higher standard. So if you don't know me, welcome to the channel. Hopefully this video helps you out. So let's jump into it. Most guys who try to get leaner actually never really make it, or they do and they just gain it all back, and they're just self-sabotaging themselves, bro, without even realizing it. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, dude, it's all about eating less of the bad food, more of the good food, and doing more cardio, and I'll just lose the weight. Well, yeah, it's not hard. It is simple, and it can be very hard for a lot of people to get leaner depending on the level you're at. But if you're like trying to go from 15% to 10% body fat as a dude chasing his potential, those shortcuts, that way of thinking is exactly what's holding you back. But the good news is getting leaner. When I'm talking about lean is like visible abs, bicep veins. You look in the mirror like, oh my God, dude, like I look insane. It's not as hard as it seems. You just need to avoid a few different traps and way of thinking. In fact, I've seen so many guys, I've talked to a lot of guys in the gym where they seem like they're doing everything right. You know, they're doing the cardio, they're working out with intensity, they're eating less food, and they just can't seem to lose the fat. They're having a tough time. A lot of the guys that I've helped one-on-one, same spot. It's like, dude, why isn't this working? Holy shit. You ever just felt like no matter how hard you push your body, it's not responding? Get it? But if you keep making these same mistakes, you're just gonna be stuck in the same place. You're gonna be like, yeah, I gotta jump on a bunch of gear. I gotta do X, Y, and Z. You're gonna kill your motivation. You're just gonna feel a lack of like energy every time you try to get leaner. You're gonna rebound and put the weight back on, and it's just like a cycle, bro. It's a cycle. It's kind of like driving, but you have the parking brake on. You're pressing down on the foot pedal, expending all this energy, all this gas, but you're not going anywhere. So in this video, let's break it down. It's gonna be simple. It's not gonna be some cool, sexy thing, but I'm really gonna try to make you think like, okay, you gotta do this properly, but you have to make it sustainable as well, okay? So let's jump into it. So the first mistake that you're making when you're trying to get leaner is you're cutting your calories way too quickly, way too fast. It's aggressive, man. It's aggressive. No wonder you feel like crap. No wonder you can't even get the boy downstairs to stand up sometimes, right? You go to work, you're like, oh man, like you tell your coworker, I'm trying to lose fat, and they're like, oh, like you can do it or whatever, and you feel like crap, you have a bad lifestyle, you feel like you binge eat sometimes at night when you get stressed out, or the weekend comes up and you do well from Monday to Friday, but it's so low, it's so aggressive, it's messing up your hormones, you can't sustain to it. Then next thing you know, you're like, well, I haven't eaten nothing this week. So then you have some food on the weekends, and then you weigh in, and then you're up weight and you get in your head. Like it's a cycle. I've been there 100%. So I'm going to give you guys examples that I do with my one-on-one guys that I coach inside the Unique Male Performance Club, the UMP Club. So I don't cut calories too drastically. Like literally the level 1 of the program is called Building Your Base. And there's a lot of structure behind training. However, when it comes down to a fat loss phase, I need to find how their body reacts to their maintenance calories, right? Do they respond better to doing more output, more cardio, or less output and just like cutting down the food? It depends on the lifestyle. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Stop just cutting your calories super low. And I can't give you a number. I can be like, yeah, I cut it down 500. I feel like that's like a typical range where people find their maintenance calories. You plug in your activity weight or your activity level. Oh my God. Age, weight, your height, and then you're like, oh, I need to eat 2,800 calories. That's what the calculator is telling you. You need to then follow that as a reference point. See how your body responds to what the calculator is telling you to lose the weight. But then how do you track this? As you got to look at your sleep. You got to look at your stress. You got to look at your satiety. You got to look at your pumps. These are all the things that I track in the first 4 weeks with the guys I coach one-on-one. To see, okay, and they're like, hey dude, I'm feeling quite good. I have good sleep. You know, we lost a few pounds here, but nothing too drastic. Then I'm gonna probably get them to do more output or more work on cardio, but not abuse it. Because I believe in like having more food to do more work rather than just like cutting down your food and then do lots of cardio to lose weight quickly. That's why so many of you're rebounding and gaining the weight back. Like, sure, you can lose weight. It's not, I don't need a coach, I can lose the weight. Yeah, but how do you keep the weight off? How do you actually optimize your metabolism? That's the trick. When you cut your calories too fast too, you're gonna screw up your metabolism, your hormones, you're gonna feel like crap, and that's a big no-no. So the solution to this is to use the calculator, right? Go find your BMR calculator, put in your stats, track your calories. I'm a big a guy in this. What gets measured gets managed. So track your calories. You don't need to do it forever, but it's good to know how much food you're eating and then how much to lower it by. Now, you could lose probably anywhere between 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight per week, depending on your level. But don't cut it down too crazy, man. Sometimes I hear guys are like 200 pounds, even between like 180, depending on the size of the guy and the body fat percentage, to like 210, 215, and they're eating like 1,500 calories. Now, I've gotten some of my guys down to 1,800 calories, but their body adapts. Remember, your body adapts to calories. So you have to, the slower you go, the more you're going to be able to keep that weight off for a longer period of time. That's the point I'm trying to get at here, okay? So sure, you can lose weight fast. A lot of coaches promote this, but the thing is you're probably not going to be able to sustain it, and you're probably going to binge eat on the weekends, or you're going to binge eat one night because you're stressed out from work and all these different things, and then you're up in weight, and then you get in your head and all this crap. Okay, so that's the first thing, is you cut your calories too fast. Okay, the second mistake you're making is you're neglecting weight and you abuse cardio, okay? So in a fat loss phase, when you're trying to get leaner, you're trying to get that visible ab definition, the bicep veins, you look in the mirror, oh my God, like, this is awesome. I feel confident and amazing. You can't neglect weight training. You need to stimulate the muscle. You need to tell the body, hey, we're trying to lose fat tissue, but we're also trying to maintain the muscle tissue. So you don't need to work out 6-7 times per week. Minimum 3 times per week. Make sure that you're putting enough volume to your body so your body can respond. But you're telling the body, hey, let's maintain the muscle tissue. The more muscle tissue you have, the more you can keep in a fat loss phase when you're trying to get leaner, the better you're going to respond metabolically, which means you're pretty much, the more muscle you have, you're going to be able to rip through calories. And it's a really good feeling. Like, you'll be able to eat more food because muscle is expensive. It's like having a Ferrari. It's like the insurance may be really high. It costs a lot to fill up the car, but it's premium, but it performs really well. It's like the same thing. You don't need to be the biggest bodybuilder guy, but the more lean muscle mass you have, the better you're going to feel, and better for longevity as well. So what ends up happening is you're probably going to be like, well, I need to do more cardio, so I'm going to skip the weights today. So then you abuse cardio. So a lot of the times, a lot of guys that I've talked to, they like, oh, I'm just going to do 30 minutes of cardio. And it's like, great, but like 30 minutes on level 3 or on level 10, how much calories you're burning. So I would always suggest aim for a calorie target every single week. So for example, you burn 1,500 calories. For a cardio target, 1,500 calories, space that out 3 times per week, okay? That's going to help you. And then as your body adapts, you get better. Your cardiovascular health starts to improve because you're working on your cardiovascular, and you have to up it more, right? But don't start off the bat just abusing it and then pairing it with dropping the calories, because you're going to feel like crap. Cardio is a tool, right? You need to utilize cardio to your advantage. Remember, you're always burning calories, guys. You're always burning your calories. 60% of the time of your day is burning calories. Like, you need to remember your body is like a machine. It's always going to burn calories. So you don't need to abuse cardio as much, but you need to use it as a tool. Don't abuse it. Don't abuse it. You can use it, but don't abuse it. Okay, the third mistake that you're making when you're trying to get leaner, lose the fat tissue, maintain your muscle, is you're program hopping, or you're not giving your fat loss phase enough time, and you start second guessing things. And I totally get it. You start to get in your head, oh, dude, this isn't working. Let me drop the calories more and let me skip out on the weights. Let me just like not eat any food. And you start second guessing it. You start stressing out. So program hopping, I feel like when you start off on a fat loss phase, like what I was saying, don't neglect your weights. Make sure you're training, but stick to a phase long enough, whether that's 8 or 12 weeks. I would prefer anywhere between there, so that you can look at your numbers. What gets measured gets managed. and just maintain your weights, right? If you're tracking the numbers in a fat loss phase, then you're not trying to push for strength. You're just trying to maintain those metrics, your sets and your reps, to tell the body, I'm not losing strength. I want to maintain this muscle, right? Because if you're not tracking your workouts, you're just trying to lose fat tissue, then yeah, you're going to lose the fat tissue by eating less food and all this stuff, but then you're just probably not going to look the way you want to look. And I know most of you guys watching these videos, you're trying to look a certain way, you're trying to feel more confident in yourself, you're trying to get more definition in your body, then track your workouts. So stop program hopping, stop jumping from program to program, stick to your numbers, keep it simple and basic, and then you can change up the movement patterns when you go through different phases, like a fat loss phase, a growth phase, a maintenance phase, but stop program hopping. If you program hopping, you're not going to know what to track. And then the more you program hop, you're going to start second guessing, and you're not going to be able to actually collect enough data to understand how your body's going to respond to the fat loss phase. So there's a lot of different things I could also jump into, but I feel like these are the top three, man. Top three mistakes. You cut your calories too fast, you neglect your weights, you abuse the cardio, and you start program hopping. And that's what's going to actually have a hard time with you losing the weight and then actually keeping it off. And here's the big kicker, okay? I have a really, really good point here. What I do with a lot of the guys when I help them inside the Unique Male Performance Program is reverse dieting. So when you adjust your calories week after week strategically, let's say you start off at 2,800, you get down to 1,800 after however long, you can't just go back to eating 2,800 calories. Your body's adapted to those lower calories. So you need to reverse diet. You need to reverse out of there. So you need to build the calories up slowly week after week. So now that you don't put on too much weight or too much fat quickly, and your body responds to a higher calorie while staying leaner. That's the trick. That's what I do in level 3, which is called Ascend and Reverse Diet inside my program. And so here's the top 3 mistakes. So hopefully that helps you out, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to help you. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting a bunch of stories, helping you challenge your limiting beliefs, get you to think outside the box, to get you to better yourself. So hopefully this helps you out, and I'll see you guys around.